Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this is going to be a really fun video. I reached out to a load of different content creators that I chat to in the background on a regular basis. And I was like, guys, give me your top picks. Your top rare, epic and legendary champions in Raid and why. Some people have kind of gone through this and thought, who's going to be the most helpful champion for someone's account? Other people are like, you know what? I love that champion because they're really fun. They do a ton of damage. So there's a different kind of views going on here, which is cool. Before we get a bunch of crying in the chat below, yes, I reached out to more content creators than are in this video. Not everyone's got time to do it. Some people didn't want to do it. And you know what? I didn't ask some people because I didn't want to know what they wanted to put into the video. So there's a whole bunch of other people out there. But what's cool here is I'm going to link everybody else's channel below. If you liked what you see from them in this kind of brief clip, then go and check out their channel as well. Subscribe to them and give a bit more love to the Raid community. So I'm going to kick it off. My top 2 rare, epic and legendaries, and then we're going to get in and see what everyone else thinks. So let's start with the rares. I'm picking up on Purgator and I'm picking up on Nullhorn. Both of these rares, I'm not picking like the obvious, and I'm sure some of the obvious ones are going to pop up throughout this video. But the reason I'm picking these guys, firstly, Purgator came as a complete blindsider for me. We did a guide on this guy recently, and he slams so damn hard. So he's coming in as one of mine. The second one is Nullhorn. Totally underrated. Wrong affinity here. You know what he's going to do? He's still going to provoke the entire enemy team. He's bringing a big fat aura for defense. He's provoking everybody and just letting all of your damage dealers do their job. The cool thing as well is that he can also make himself unkillable. So whilst your damage dealers are doing their job and he's provoking them, he won't die. So what have we got here then with Purgator? He's got his A2 AoE ability, does more damage when he's got debuffs on himself. Yeah, pair him with a Gerp Tuck, and let's just watch these numbers flow. Oh, baby. 80k across the board. We love to see it, and that's why he is in my top 2. So let's speed these up. And then the second guy here makes himself unkillable. Come at me, fellas. See what you've got. You're not going to do much to this guy. He just enables the rest of your team to do whatever they want. So Purgator here as well. Let's go out with the A2. Slam dunk 80k. Thanks for coming. And that's going to be my top 2 rares for this. I'm not sure it did it quite enough justice. I'm just going to show these 2 off for one more thing quick. Because it just felt like, you know what? We've got the same thing going on in the arena. We've got the same type of synergy happening here. And then in the arena, we can also just one-shot an entire team. And to be honest, I don't even have these guys geared very well. So, bam, rares done. So, we're going to show off one of my epics and one of my legendary picks in Spider. Spider's one of the hardest dungeons to deal with. And for me, Miscreated Monster comes in as an epic that makes Spider pretty damn easy. So he comes in, he's got high crit damage, and he throws out a humongous shield for everybody. Doesn't really matter who the Spiderlings are going to target here. None of my guys are going to die because of Miscreated Monster. He also throws a bunch of stuns out. He just makes the game way easier, and he's a lot of fun as well. My first legendary pick is Mr. Septimus. I mean, I've never had so much fun as I have in the last couple of months since I pulled this guy. He absolutely cracks stuff. 2.9 million there. I've had him one-shot the Spider in a different build. He is just ridiculous. So, and he's not just about Spider, and he's not just about this. He can literally come anywhere. He can come anywhere. He'll do a ton of damage for you, and he's a ton of fun. So, Septimus up there as one of my legendaries. And then if we talk about my second epic pick and my second legendary pick, both of them are actually in my Clan Boss team right now. So, Sandlashed makes a ton of stuff happen that shouldn't be able to happen with her extend buffs ability, also with her block damage ability as well. So for Clan Boss, she can make a ton of stuff happen. And Valk, I mean, she was my number 1 legendary in my tier list. She's also one of my favourite legendaries personally. She makes stuff happen that shouldn't be able to happen in Clan Boss because of the crazy shields that she puts out, because of the sustain she gives your team. And yeah, for me, one of the absolute best champions in the game in terms of just being able to do stuff that you couldn't do before. Not only is she great in Clan Boss, she's also really cool in the arena to enable you to go first when you shouldn't be able to go first. A passive will push you on to be able to do that. So guys, that's my top picks. Let's get into some of the different content creators' picks.
All right, Hell Hades, you asked for my top 3 champions, Legendary, Epic, and Rare. Let's go ahead and jump into it. My favorite Legendary champions, well, one is right here. Little Miss Annie, dude. She looks like an absolute freak. She looks scary and spooky as all hell, no pun intended. And she hits like an absolute truck. Playdate is one of the hardest hitting abilities you can find in the game. Absolutely insane. Of course, she's the biggest pay to win beast in the game as well, being a Void Legendary. Not an OP champion, but certainly one of the most fun I've had playing with on kind of a revive team. Your reviver, boom, she goes right into her hard hitting A1, a 3-time hitter. My second one is a more free to play option because I've been, banging the drums on Scylla the Drakes is actually underrated because she's free. People don't respect enough what she brings to the table, in my opinion, because she's free. And I've said this before, but it's kind of like an artist, right? They charge $1 million for their painting, and people think it has a lot of value. But if an artist gives away their painting for free, it's just like, I guess I'll take one, I guess. I'll throw it in the drawer or something. That's about Scylla the Drakes, right? I think she's an absolute beast. Reliable stun on a 3-turn cooldown. She has the revive. She has increased speed. The heal on the passive. The revive on the A3. And on the A1, she has decreased speed. I think she's a tremendous champ. Defense-based as well. Damage. She's easier to build than a lot of other champions. And she's free. Scylla the Drake's only downside being, well, just like every legendary champion, she takes books, and it's impossible to get legendary books. And you said 2 champions, not 3, so that makes this easier for me. Moving on to the epic champions, Hell Hades. My number 1 is just probably the most useful epic champion inside the game right now. Again, she is a little bit more difficult to get, being Void, but Seer is the Karma Burn is so incredibly good, aka OP, aka broken, inside this game, and I use her for Doom Tower. I don't know if I'd even be able, who knows how difficult Doom Tower would be without Seer, stripping away those buffs from the enemies just as much as, she is nuking hard. And my second is actually Hugo, a new champion to the game. This champion for me is a top 5 epic champion inside the game, a great leech that increases the chances from 35% increase for each enemy alive, a great heal on the A1, fantastic heal on the A3. On the A2, we get an AoE attack, decreased defense, block buffs for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. The chance goes up from 75% when booked to 100% for dungeons on a 3-turn cooldown. And she has kind of a cool revive, kind of a fail-safe break in case of an emergencies revive in her kit as well. Those are my 2 favorite epics in the game right now. My favorite rare champions, number 1, far and away for me, is Reliquary Tender. Reliquary Tender is so insanely good. She has a revival on the A3 for a rare champion to give a big version of continuous heal and strip all debuffs from all allies is insane. I love Reliquary Tender. And man, as much as I like some of these other champions, I just did a guide on Soul Bond. I think she's a tremendous, but man, it's got to be Coldheart. I'm sure everybody's going to put Coldheart, but it is Coldheart. Coldheart is a legendary in rare skin, and that's that. Thanks, Hades.
Hell Hades asked me what my 2 favorite legendary, epic, and rare champions are. Here we go. We'll start it out with Septimus. I think everybody likes to see big hits. Septimus with that A1 can clear waves, and then we got that A2 that just comes in and annihilates anything that he hits. Such an amazing legendary champion. My second favorite legendary champion is going to be Scylla the Drakes. We get her as a login reward. She can help you get through every single wave in the Doom Tower with that AoE stun. She also has a revive. She has a passive that heals, gives you a speed buff to a random ally, and then her A1 can do turn meter reduction and slow speed. She is massive. Use her on every single wave in the Doom Tower, and you can use her on every single boss. You can use her anywhere else in the game as well. She's really kind of broken, honestly. Epic champions, I'm really torn between. There are so many great ones out there. I love Seer. I've played her since day 1. Seer dropping those waves is just too good, right? We could drop waves in anything we do. She's been my favorite for a very long time, so I'm going to stick with Seer. My second one, though, is a new one, Inquisitor Shamal. This guy is amazing. Look at his kit. Once you have him built properly and you can ignore 100% defense on that A2 and then fear everyone else, once you kill a target, you will love him as well. He's got a lead that we can use in the Doom Tower for 60 accuracy. He can one-shot anybody in the Doom Tower. Check him out. Believe me, you will not be disappointed. Rares, I'm going to have to go with Bellower. Bellower has been one of my favorite rares for a very long time. A stun tank Bellower. You can use him in the Doom Tower to get through any waves as well. That A1 will also stun and lockout. He has so many debuffs that he'll put out, AoE all the time. As far as rares go, I don't know, he's pretty crazy. So use him, put him in a stun set. If you're using him as a farmer for 12-3, try to get another Bellower in there and get through the Doom Tower waves with him. My second pick for rares isn't very original, but Coldheart just has everything we need. When we go up against bosses, she does turn meter reduction, plus she does damage based off of enemy max HP. The A2 AoE is good as well. The A1 4 hit, I mean, now with the Fire Knight change of the AI, Coldheart has to be it. So for me, Septimus, Sal the Drakes, Inquisitor Shamal, Seer, Coldheart, and Bellower are my favorite champions. And Hell Hades, thanks so much for having me.
All right, Mr. Hell Hades, let's get into my top 2 rares, epics, and legendaries. We'll start with the rares and work our way up. All right, so I'm obviously going to start with none other than Apothecary. I'm really into progression type champions that help newer players early and mid game to progress their accounts and get to a higher level of content. Apothecary doesn't need an introduction. He's obviously one of the best rares in the game. The triple hit A1, the crit heals on a 2-turn cooldown, and then mostly known for the A3 here to increase ally speed and fill the turn meter. So he's a great turn meter booster and speed booster, which is amazing and so important for so many different teams. Plus, to boot, he brings a great aura in dungeons to help people stay alive, and then really good base stats here. Most notably, the 106 for the base speed. And I can't in good conscience do a list like this and leave Bellower off of there. In my opinion, the best general rares in the game for a top 2 is going to be Apothecary and Bellower. A Bellower, every single ability is AoE. He's void, so he never hits weak, and he does so many crucial debuffs. He can block cooldown skills on an A1. The A2 decreases speed, and the A3 decreases attack and defense. This means that you've got a lot of different options you can do with Bellower. You can put him in a stun set and make him extremely suppressive in faction wars and dungeon waves, or even the Doom Tower now that that's out. So if a new player is able to get Bellower on their account, that is an extremely crucial summon. Then for the top 2 epics, the first one I'm going to talk about is Stag Knight. Now, whenever I'm helping somebody out with their account, the first champion I'm looking for to see if they have is Stag Knight. We got an A1 that is a multi-hitter and decreases speed. Makes him amazing in the Spider and the Fire Knight. And then we've got the A2. When it's booked, it's a 3-turn cooldown that is not only the big defense break, but the big attack break. So not only helping your entire team do more damage, but also does damage himself and lowers their attack, which helps your team stay alive. And he's got good base stats, almost 21,000 HP and 107 base speed is incredible for an epic. And then the new epic, Hugo, is absolutely incredible. I love the A2 here. That is an AoE damage dealer that is going to decrease defense and then block buffs. This is most notably amazing in the arena because when you're dealing with those annoying things, skull crowns that always put the unkillable when you kill them, can make your arena farming that much better because you're also lowering their defense so that your nuker can hit super hard, so it fills that role. Then you're blocking buffs just to make sure you never have to worry about those pesky skull crowns in the arena. So this ability has so much utility, not only in the arena, but also in basically every other area of the game. And then also on the A1, we're placing Leech, and Leech has been buffed recently to be a lot more impactful than it used to be, along with the 102 base speed and then the pretty good base stats of almost 20k HP and 1255 defense. Hugo is absolutely insane as an epic. Then for the top 2 legendaries, how can I do this list and not put Siphi the Lost Bride on there? Do I even really need to explain? I don't have a Siphi, but geez, I wish I did because she really does it all. Reviving, A1 CC, block debuffs, increase defense, increase speed, turn meter booster, increase attack, and then if you pair her with Rotos, she's doing insane stuff. She's got an aura in all battles, all resist by 80. As raid ages, we're finding out that resistance is more and more important, so that aura is insane as well. 114 base speed, really good base stats on the HP and the defense, and a base resistance of 40, and she's void, so she's never going to hit weak or be hit strong or anything. I mean, what is there not to like about Siphi? I don't have her, but I'm hoping someday I will. And then, come on, how can I not have my boy, Bad Elkazar, my channel art, my avatar art. When I first downloaded Raid and the first night that I was going through the index, Bad Elkazar is the one that caught my eye. I was like, wow, the champion looks insane. He looks super amazing. He's got an AoE A1 that heals all allies. Then this A2 here can be used in so many different scenarios. It can be good for placing poisons on enemies. It can be paired with people that are detonators like Xavia to do speed farming. Then it also can be used as a heal for your team, and it can also be used as a cleanse. So you can put him in an immunity set, use him as an immunity cleanser in the arena or something. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, so he's got a super fast rotation of his skills with just the 2 abilities here, making him a candidate for like a reflex set or good in any different scenario because he's got so many different things that he can do. And not only that, but he's got a passive that makes your entire team deal more damage. All allies inflict 20% more damage against targets under poison debuffs, which is basically going to be permanent because Bad Elk can do it himself. You couple that with the good base stats like the 102 base speed and how amazing Bad Elk looks aesthetically. How could I not put Bad Elk in my top 2 legendaries? So that does it for me. Thanks, ladies. Peace.
Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and I was told to tell you about some of my favorite champions, so why not start with none other than Elder Skarg himself. He's just an amazing champion with this ability to put fear on everyone, to provoke legendaries, to put true fear and HP burn on everyone. If you have not seen him in Spider, you're missing out. He's a blast to use in this game. One of my other favorites, my legendary, and I have 2, so it makes me so happy, but Coronar. Watching him just go to town and take people down over and over again is a treat to watch. When I use this one and I'm just constantly stunning enemies, or I use my other one and I'm constantly provoking them, either way makes me super happy. Now when it comes to epics, there's 2 champions that stand above the rest for me. One is Miscreated Monster, who everybody knows is basically a legendary in epic clothing, but I love him so much, primarily for watching him put his shield up on spiders. For some reason, it tickles that nerve of seeing big numbers in shield form. I absolutely love watching him work. And then the other champion that I'm probably the only person that absolutely loves, but I absolutely love him, is Verges. Verges is one of the best carry champions in this game. He has an amazing ability here to put increased speed for 3 turns on one ally, as well as ally protection and increased defense buff. It is an amazing skill. He is fantastic in clan boss. He's fantastic in arena. He's fantastic in dungeons. There's no place where Verges is not good. Not to mention he's got a really nice passive. I absolutely love this champion. And Bulwark is one of the first rare champions I ever fully used in my team. He helped me advance from Nightmare to Ultra Nightmare and Clan Boss. The guy hits hard. He's tanky. He places a weaken and an HP burn. He does everything and extends the debuffs on the enemy. I absolutely love Bulwark. He can be used in endgame Ultra Nightmare builds. That's why I like him so much. And then I think the other champion I have to give a little bit of love to is Bellower. A champion that's carried me all the way through my progression in this game. Got me through all the campaigns, got me through arenas, got me through dungeons. This guy does it all with AoE attacks on every one of his skills, block cooldowns, decreased speed, decreased defense, and decreased attack. There's not much more you can ask from a guy like that. So those are some of the champions that I absolutely love.
What's up everybody, Scratch here to give you my top 2 champion pick from every single rarity. My favorite, the best of the best from my own roster, guys. So we're gonna start with no one else than my favorite, right? So we're having Duchess Lilith. Now the reason I like her so much, honestly, she's amazing all around. She's a huge carry. Doesn't matter if you're early game, mid game, end game. Honestly, no matter what challenge the game throws at you, she's gonna be there to carry your team. Then she has a super unique kit. Honestly, I think she's the best reviver in the game. You have the speed aura, you have block debuffs, you have veil, attack up. Crazily strong champion. Amazing for clan boss, amazing for dungeons, Doom Towers, Faction Wars, Arena. No matter what, she is just amazing. So I think, honestly, she is my favorite legendary champion in the game. Now, that's Duchess right here. Second pick from the legendaries, guys, we have no one else than Warlord. Yeah, his name says it everything. He is honestly the Lord of War. Like, I've been on the hunt for this guy for so long. I think I got him like after 1 year and a half. I was just randomly opening some shards to complete a summoning event, and I got him out of like 7 voids, and I was like, yay, finally happened. Like, his kit is super well built. Like, he's good everywhere, honestly. You want Termiter control, he's got it. You want increase debuffs, he's got it. You want immunity, he's got that too. You want shield, he has shield as well. You want heal, he has heal for you as well. And then he has a dope aura as well. Resistance in all battles. 80 is a huge aura. Increase the cooldown of the enemies. Like, he's got your back no matter where you want to use him. He's honestly a super strong champion. Definitely my favorite Void champion, honestly. He's not a new champion at all. He's been in the game for ages. Like, he's been in the game since I remember it. Since I started playing, he was there. Super strong champion. Now, moving over to the epics, my 2 picks for epics. We're gonna start first again. Let's go back to the orcs, and we have no one else than Seer. Super powerful champion, great utility. I know most of the people are kind of running her just for like fast farms and stuff like that, but she is so much more than just that, okay? You can use her for arena. You don't have a madame series. You have a team that buffs pretty nice. The enemy team buffs a lot. Like, honestly, now in arena, everybody just buffs, or they start with shields, they start with immunity, a lot of buffs on the enemy team. So she can be a pretty decent stripper and nuker at the same time. And when I'm talking about stripper, don't think about those Norris strippers, yeah? Buff removal, guys, okay? Super strong champion, deals pretty good damage on bosses as well, clears the waves like no one else in the game, honestly. Decent aura as well, decent stats. I honestly love Seer. Then, the second epic champion. Now, this one right here, I remember it back in the day, used to be the god of arena, okay? So, Arbiter was not yet released in the game. Everybody was running Gorgorabs in arena. So, think of it how you see Arbiters everywhere in arena now. That's how Gorgorab used to be. He was, I think, my 4th epic champion that I got in the game. I think I got him from my 2nd Sacred Shard. He carried my ass early mid-game everywhere in the game. I beat every single dungeon stage 20 with him. Carried me everywhere. I used to run him in arena, dungeons, even clan boss. I used to have a toon team with his Termiter boost, so I was not running Apothecary. I was running him actually, get attack up, get that Termiter up, and revive and heal from him. So he is a huge carry. If you have one, you don't have your Arbiter yet, definitely 6-star him. You will have 0 regrets. Even if you get your Arbiter after, you can still use him on Faction Wars in 3v3, so he's a badass champion. And that is with the epic champions, guys. Now, talking about rare champions. Definitely my favorite and the most used champion on my roster is no one else than Coldheart. Probably that for a lot of endgame players. Honestly, she's so badass. It only took me around 8 months to get her 300 plus void shards. So if you consider yourself unlucky by opening 10-20 shards and still don't have a Coldheart, remember what I've just told you. 8 plus months, 300 plus shards to get my first Coldheart. I was so jealous on everybody when I started the game and in the first few months of the game till I got her. We didn't have a lot of crazy poisoners back then. Draco, he wasn't what he is right now. So a lot of people were running Coldhearts in clan boss, okay? And they used to deal like the highest damage we used to see in there. So I wanted one so bad, honestly. Then I finally got her. The most used rare champion on my account is Coldheart. Amazing for Fire Knight, amazing for the Doom Tower, amazing for the Spider. She is just simply badass. Definitely a 10 out of 10 champion. Now, the next champion, the last champion, my last pick from the rares as well, guys, is no one else than Bellower. Honestly, I find him to be the most complete rare champion in the game. AoE attacks, a lot of important debuffs on his skills, amazing campaign farmer, amazing nuker, amazing CC, especially if you're running a stun set on him. He's just amazing.
Hey, I'm Layla Fox. For my picks on the top 2 rares, epics, and Legos, I decided to talk about the rarity of the champs that made the biggest difference on my main and my alt account. So for the rares on my main account, the first rare that made a big difference for me was Apo. And the great story about him was, I think I was about 10 days into the game. I had no idea how good champs were. I did a random 10 pull on mystery shards, and there was Apo. My chat told me how amazing he was, and I immediately switched out War Priest for him. Now on my alt account, the first rare that made a really big difference for me was Frozen Banshee. We know how amazing her poison sensitivity is, and I had already picked Kale as my starter on my alt, so she paired so nicely with Kale. For epics, on my main account, the first epic that really made a difference for me was Tayrell. Now, as soon as I got him, I was super excited. I got him leveled up to 60 as fast as I could, got gear on him, and threw him into my dungeons, and that helped me progress considerably because he's just such a good tanky kind of champ. And honestly, at that time, I don't even think I even had any good banners for him or necklaces. I didn't care. I got him in there, and he still worked out great. On my alt account, it was Miscreated Monster. I mean, Miscreated Monster probably doesn't even need an introduction. We know how amazing of a champ he is, and I got him pretty early on my alt account. I immediately used him in dungeons, I put him into my arena, and he's been a fantastic champ for me. So well, in fact, that I wished I had him on my main for the longest period of time, and I finally got him there. Now for Legos, the Lego that made the biggest difference for me on my main account first was Arbiter. Arbiter, I ended up getting her within the first 2 months of my main account. I got her from a random shard, and she helped me progress considerably in arena, in dungeons, and it was just so amazing and such a nice jump start for my account being 2 months in. On my alt account, the Lego that made the biggest difference for me was Raglan. Raglan is an amazing champ. She wasn't my first legendary actually, and my alt account is a free to play, so already having Miscreated Monster, getting Raglan, having Kale already gave me such a good foundation, I felt like. Now with Raglan, I believe I got her 4 months into my alt account, but she took my account up considerably. I put her into my arena as well, and her having her revives made such a big difference for me in dungeons and even trying to do faction wars. So these are my top 2 picks for rares, epics, and Legos based on what helped me out in my main and free-to-play alt accounts.
Hi guys, it's Coldbrew. Hades, thank you for asking this question on the top 2 picks for each rarity, so rares, epics, and legendaries. This was a very difficult question actually because of how difficult it is to just rank all these champions that we have, and especially top 2 between also voids and non-voids. So let's get into it. I made a list, I changed it so many times, but I still think these champions personally are the top for their rarity because they can be like plug and play champions that once you get them, they change your game totally from start to finish, and you're going to be using them pretty much until you finally quit the game. Let's start with the obvious, the rares. We're going to go all the way to the high elves. It's Apothecary, of course. How easy he is to get, the advantages he gives to your whole team, the speed boosting, the healing, even the aura is fantastic. He is a game changer. Once you get him in an account, a fresh account, he makes it so easy to progress through many of the dungeons, arena, clan boss. It just makes everything so easy. And then the next one, the next rare, I think was the most difficult one to choose because of how hard it is to get it. I still think she is worthy of the top rare spot as well, because Coldheart totally changes your account both in the dungeons but also in terms of fast farming once you reach the end of the dungeon. So stage 20, she makes Fire Knight a breeze, she makes Spider a breeze, she can even help with the dragon and also the ice golem. She's not so useful in other areas, but she's now found more uses in the Doom Tower, so definitely for Doom Tower bosses she has her use. in getting those speed farming teams as well. So I do think she deserves the top 2 pick, although she's a Void, which is much harder to get than other champions, but I still wanted to include Voids in this list. Next up, of course, are the Epics, and Miscreated Monster takes the top spot. In my opinion, he's a plug and play champion. Once you get him, you can go and do all dungeons at 20, no questions asked. It's all about the gear that you put on him. I've made a video on him before on how he can just rule the dungeons. I've done a recent takeover where just Miscreated Monster helped me reach to 20 from level 12 dungeons to 20 with just Miscreated Monster plus some other members of the team, but he does make a huge difference, and he is definitely worth it in the top 2 spot. Then the next spot for Epics goes to Stag Knight. Stag Knight is again a plug and play champion. Once you get him, totally a game changer because of what he does in terms of debuff, defense down, attack down, speed down, and plus an accuracy up buff. It's just so easy to consider him a top 2 pick. Madame Serris was a top 2 pick as well, in my opinion, but because she's Void, she makes it so much harder for me to put her in the top 2, and because of her use in the dungeons. I mean, if I have Stag Knight and Madame Serris, I would go for Stag Knight instead of Madame Serris for dungeons. No questions asked because of what more Stag Knight brings, plus his animations are much faster than hers, so he gets the top 2 spot. Then finally for Legendaries, this was much harder also to do, but I do think that I found the top 2, which are again plug and play champions that carry you through all the areas of the game. So first one is Krisk the Ageless. Of course, once you get him, you put any kind of gear in him and he's going to carry you through arena, dungeons, campaign, nightmare campaign, clan boss, everywhere. He's going to be huge. Even the Doom Tower, you're going to keep using him because of how much stuff he provides to your whole team. Debuffs, buffs, speed downs, shields. He has everything in his kit. It's just crazy how good he is. Once you get him, game changer. And he is also used in one of the top clan boss teams. So if ever you want to do that, then yeah, Krisk is the key. And then finally, it goes with no questions asked. I think because we have so many limited counterattacks in the game, Valkyrie needs the top 2 spot there. And not only because of the counterattack, she is used in all areas of the game, both nightmare campaign progression, dungeon progression, clan boss progression, but also in arena. You'll see Valkyries in defense in top platinum arena. So she is worth it for all areas. This was a very hard decision to make, especially taking Siphi out of the top 2 spots. I don't think Siphi has the same kind of use as the 2 champions I just mentioned, so Krisk and Valkyrie. So this is my list, Hades. I do think that this list is very controversial. I want to see what the other content creators said, so thank you for asking.
Hi guys, how you doing? I am the Saffron Man. Hell Hades has got in touch and he says, Saf, I need you to run down for your 2 top epics, top rares and top Legos, if you please. I said, fine Hades, let's get on and do it. I'm well happy to do that. Starting off with the epics. Now, it has to be Bellower. Bellower has definitely got to be one of my best rares in the game. I started with 1, I've now got 5, I've now got a couple more in the vault. But Bellower was my first legit end game campaign farmer, right? I didn't have anyone else that could farm it in 6 seconds at the time, but yeah, he doesn't need a crazy amount of gear pieces, just the right stats to be able to farm campaign at 6 seconds on brutal. So yeah, I mean, Bellower was game changing for me to be able to farm it, go from like 30 seconds to 6 seconds. Was legit. So Bellower, just for that reason alone, campaign farmer, definitely one of the 2. Now the second is probably, it could have been Coldheart through damage, but I've gone with Renegade. Renegade is a poor man's Kaimar. Kaimar fully resets the skills. Renegade just cools down by 2. But Renegade was my key to unlocking Spider 20 as soon as I could. So Renegade has no base speed for me. At the time, she had no gear on whatsoever. She just went when was needed to reset everyone and to cool them down by 2 turns. And that allowed my nukers to go again and get rid of the Spider, right? So I couldn't farm Spider for a long time either. Renegade unlocked Spider 20 for me, so I'm very grateful. So Renegade is without a doubt, my best, one of my best rares that I've ever had. 2 Void rares. You might see a trend coming here, okay? Now the next one, just trying to find them, is Sia. Sia is just absolutely insane. I can farm the Ice Golem in 27 seconds because of Sia. I can literally farm the Dragon, I can farm Fire Knight, farm Doom Tower. Sia has just been fantastic. No one really quite gets rid of waves like Sia, unlike maybe one of the Legos that I'll announce in a minute. But yeah, Sia is just straight up fantastic. If not the best, definitely one of the best epics in the whole game. She deserves that title. She just goes through everything that you put in front of her. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Sia is one of my top 2 epics. Going into yet another Void character, Madam Serris. It took me a long time to get a Madam Serris, and as you can see, I've got kind of an okay build, 629 accuracy, 253 speed with the HP. She is really, really useful, especially now that she's had that buff and had the AI rework. She's more useful than ever before, and there's no one that kind of strips, buffs off the enemies, kind of like Serris. And she's just really good fun. The animation of Serris and of Sia are both quite similar. But yeah, I really do enjoy both these characters. Best 2 epics on my account, I would imagine, right? Going into the Legos, let's have a little look here. There's one that I'm kind of leading towards in a second. Who are we thinking of? Honestly, Valkyrie. It's got to be Valkyrie. Valkyrie was one of my first proper game-changing Legos. I've had her for nearly, over 18 months. She's been in Clan Boss for pretty much all of that time. I've just taken her out of Clan Boss, so I can use her in Arena, Doom Tower and Dungeons and stuff like that. But yeah, Valkyrie, I had nearly 7,500 defense on Valkyrie. Their shield is insane, let alone the counter-attack. That shield is quite something. And for a long time, she carried many accounts. Obviously, lots of champs have come out since, but Valkyrie is still top tier for me. And she's done so much for my account. I couldn't have a list without Valkyrie in it. So there we go. There's Valkyrie. Probably the only non-void character that I'm picking out of this list, alright? But she absolutely deserves that title. And I know exactly what you're going to say. But it's going to be it anyway. Ethos. My man, Ethos. He is the best Lego on my account. Now, of late, I might have started not using him as much. But in terms of progression, in terms of accelerating one's account and speed runs, there except no substitute. You go from potion runs to 10 seconds. You'll get under 30 seconds with the dragon. Mate, Arena Gold 4 is a joke with Ethos. Mate, what do you want to do in game? You want to get rid of waves and speed run the dungeons quickly. That's basically his motto. If he had a lore and some text down here, he would say, I literally accelerate and campaign dungeons quickly, clear dungeons quickly. He's insane. He looks awesome. Verges, get wrecked. There's only one, mate, and that's Ethos. Ethos is the guy. Love the gold, love the purple. But yeah, they're my top rares, top epics, and top champs. Thanks for Hades for getting in touch. I've been the Sephiman. I'll see you all next time. Peace.
All right, Hell Hades. Here's my favorites: Legos, epics, rares. Legos, I'm going to throw a couple out there. I'm actually going on everybody that I have, not just the top tier, top picks that I don't have. But one of the ones that I think is kind of like undervalued even still to this day is actually Lord Chamford. This guy is amazing, actually, and especially if you're a newer player. I love the decreased defense on his A1. I love the AoE decreased accuracy plus decreased attack, plus this cool shield ability. And he has this dungeon ally HP by 50% in all dungeons, right? So it's actually super cool. The shield every time he gets hit, then the decreased speed it places too. The decreased defense here. The guy is just ultimately does a decent amount of damage, survives. He's not going to be fast by any means, but from a progression standpoint, I think Lord Champford's one of the best out there, actually. So he's one of my favorites. He's in my top 2. just because of how much use I've gotten out of him, and I run him to solo all kind of stuff actually too, and he can even solo the Scarab King on Doom Tower. But anyway, so that's my number one pick on the legendary side. My other one is old school. It's a top tier pick, and I just wanted to pick him because I think all around this guy has use in every team. Maybe not so much clan boss, but everywhere else, he's amazing and top tier and the best like reset ability in the game. You know, he's got the AoE poison on the A1. If it crits, that's cool. Nothing spectacular there. It just does the one poison, but AoE. Another AoE that does buff stripping plus a sleep on a 3-turn cooldown when booked, and then the piece de resistance here resets the cooldowns of all ally skills, fills the turn meter of all allies except this champion by 20%. So he is resetting everybody's abilities and then filling turn meter to get people to go again. And then his speed aura in arena, if you don't have a Arbiter or whatever yet, his aura is exactly the same. Prince Kaimar is actually, for me, feels like you can use him in almost any team everywhere because he's just going to make things that much better with actually helping other people out. One of the best supports, if not, to me, the best support in the game because of this one ability right here. So, epic-wise, I'm gonna throw a little curveball. I think a couple of these new epics that they built or put out in the game are actually complete game changers. One of them is Rector Drath. Rector Drath is freaking god tier as far as an epic goes with a decreased attack on the A1, perfect veil, continuous healing on this thing too, reviving with a heal, plus a perfect veil, plus the passive that passively heals each turn and gives more resistance, and then ally resistance in Doom Tower by 55. Rector Drath is just one of those that I absolutely think is completely a legendary. She's absolutely amazing. And then the other one that I'm super impressed with, and I actually think is probably close to the best epic in the game right now, is Hugo. So Hugo in the beginning, I was like, okay, right? But no, a leech on the A1, and that's amazing, right? A decreased defense with the block buffs. This ability right here is amazing. So I love this. The heal reduction, a little bit of a cleanse. Like this is more random, so her cleanse isn't as cool as the other stuff. But if everyone dies, she has a clutch revive that fills their turn meters, and she actually places increased speed and block damage on herself too. But this by itself, the decreased defense and the block buffs to me is like an absolutely god tier ability. And she has so many things going on in her kit. I actually am thoroughly impressed that those two epics, they're making my list. They're top epics, if you ask me. Now, on the rare side, I'm just going to go completely old school because I've been playing Raid since like April of 2019, May of 2019. So I've been playing for a while. But I'll go with Painkeeper. I'm a Painkeeper. Coldheart's good. But Coldheart is not all around good like Painkeeper is. Sort of like Kaimar, but the rare version. You could just use her in any team to really enhance that team, right? The turn meter fill, the AoE heal is actually undervalued. We don't talk about it a lot, but actually for newer players, especially for people who don't have a lot of the other stuff, it's easier to get a Painkeeper. And this is an amazing ability with the heal by her max HP on the 4-turn cooldown. That thing can actually save your team and make it so you can get through content as well. And then, of course, the decreasing of all ally skills by 1 turn, like the mini Kaimar ability. And she's amazing in all the unkillable clan bosses because of all this. So I actually think, to me, she's just great all around. And then the other one that you just kind of have to go with is Apothecary. Apothecary is the old school, amazing, wonderful god of the rares, right? The heal is just too good. A 2-turn heal that heals by 35%. You get him to go super fast, and he is just proccing the heal and can crit on it, get ridiculously high heals. And then the increased speed on everyone, filling everyone's turn meter as well. So those are my favorites. Hopefully that was cool. Thank you guys. Cheers.
Hi guys, to quickly go over my favorite legendaries, I have Lysandra and Nethril. I love turn meter manipulations, and those are probably the 2 best in the game. I also, for my epics, I love Tuhawk the Wanderer. Stuns, turn meter stealing, and decrease slow as well. Awesome. Fourth, And second for epics, I have Stag Knight, AoE, decrease defense, and decrease attack, as well as a slow on his A1, makes him viable in Fire Knight, fighters, and basically any dungeon. Last but not least, for my rares, I have Bellower and I have Coldheart. Bellower for his AoEs, and Coldheart because she's Coldheart and she can hit hard and is 4-hitting A1, which makes her viable, again, almost everywhere.
Now for my options, my 2 legendaries are Ray and Masha Led. I just like the CC, the lockdown, and the damage between the 2 of them. My epics are going to be Gala Longbraids for her extraordinary damage as an epic, and Sandlash for her protections and her epic clan boss ways. My 2 rares are going to be Painkeeper, because how can you not do Painkeeper? Heals, cooldown reduction, and just all around badass. And Frozen Banshee, because she was the leading poisoner for how many centuries now, and can't go wrong with her.
All right, my 2 favorite legendary, epic, and rare champs, and why. This was tougher than I thought it was going to be. When Hell Hades mentioned this to me, I was like, oh yeah, I'll knock that out real quick. I had to give this some real thought and figure out what favorite meant to me. So not just who I think looks the coolest, not who I think is the strongest, just who do I have an affinity for? Who do I feel myself attached to the most? And the answers might surprise you. My we'll say coming in at my number 2 spot in the legendary category is Lord Chamford. I have always been an advocate of his. I've always thought he deserved more love than he was getting, and it was really fun to make a video kind of showcasing what he was able to do, soloing Ice Golem with him, and sort of changing the opinion. I got a lot of comments on that video of people saying I pulled him, was bummed, saw this video, now I'm not bummed. That's really cool. And again, I just really like Lord Chamford. I think he's great. I think he's really usable anywhere. And I don't know, I have an affinity for the dude, man. And it's a very similar situation with Drakgul. I didn't expect him to be in my top 2 favorites, but he is. I'm a big fan. I think he's a killer champ. I've been advocating for him since day one, and it's been fun to really kind of push that narrative and see some people come around on him. And I've continued to use him throughout the game. I have him on my free-to-play account as well. And he's just huge. The support is huge. I don't think I'll be outgrowing him on the free-to-play anytime soon. And again, I still use him here pretty frequently to do different things. So yeah, surprisingly enough, I really thought like Harvest Jack or someone else would be in there. But I think those are my 2 favorite legendaries if we're just going on like who I have an affinity for. As far as epics, Serris has to be on the list. She is probably still my favorite champion in the game, just as being a full package. I like the way she looks. I like her skill set. I like the way I like where she fits into certain things. My only big complaint is that even though they recently adjusted her A3, her A3 still doesn't do what I want it to do. She needs to use it first everywhere. But this is probably my favorite champ in the game, so definitely one of my 2 favorite epics. Really, really big fan of Serris. Second favorite epic was really hard. Really hard. I think if I really get down to it, it's Seeker. I think Seeker is probably my second favorite epic. Royal Guard is a real close third, maybe. But I'm a big fan of a cleave. I'm a real big fan of a good attack bar booster. And this dude is just made for that. He fits. He just is. He is the spot. You know what I mean? That attack bar boost with the attack buff. He's got the provoke on the A1. He's got a little bit more going on that makes him even more useful than that. I like the way he fits into a Bad Eater comp, for example. He's usable pretty much anywhere you want to use him, and he specializes in a few things that are hard to replace. You know what I mean? There are other champs that can kind of do it, okay? No one really does it like Seeker, though. And again, I'm a big fan, and I think they nailed his skin. I think his skin fits in with what he is and what he does. So I think Seeker's probably my number 2 favorite epic. Favorite rares has been tough. That's been a tough one to pin down. One of them is War Maiden, for sure. Coming over from Summoner's War and the other games that I played, just historically, an AoE defense break has always been money. You know what I mean? So to come in and see her, and to see her be farmable from the campaign, to see an AoE defense champ that's farmable from the campaign, means a lot to the game. I think that was a really cool move, and it gave me a lot of optimism about the game early on, which maybe didn't work out in a lot of ways. But I remember it kind of being one of the things that set the tone for me when I first got to Raid. I thought, they've got an AoE defense break as a farmable champ. That's a really good look. You know, that's a really good thing to have. And again, she's killer. She's got her role, and she fills it well. Pretty fantastic champ. So she's definitely one of my favorite rares. And I would say the other one, oddly enough, I haven't gotten around to start building it yet, but I really think that Dagger is probably my second, one of my two favorite rares anyway. As far as the skin goes, she's contending for my favorite in the game, but paired with her abilities, I'm really excited to find the time to build her and put her to use and get some videos made on her, because I really, really like this champion. I love that skin. I think that's fantastic. Skills look killer. So even though I haven't got to do anything with her yet, I feel pretty confident in saying that she's easily one of my two favorite rares in the game. She probably, I'm a fan of her. Probably could work her into my top 3 favorites. And again, I haven't even used her yet. I've seen enough on her to know. But yeah, really like the skin. She's contending with Serris for my favorite skin in the game. I think they nailed it. Super cool. So that's it. That's my favorite, two favorite Legos, epics, and rares in Raid, and why. I hope that was interesting for you. There you go.
What's up, guys? Brownie here with my top picks for champions from a free-to-play perspective. We're going to start with the first one. It has to be Arbiter. Turn meter increase attack, heal, revive, the whole thing. Second one has to be Lydia. AoE decrease defense and weaken with 2 extra buffs, not to mention a really cool passive. Next one on the list from the epics, we're going to do Seer. Once you get a Seer, your life will be changed forever. She will eat all those buffs and nuke all the waves in the game. Literally any wave in the game, she can kill them all if you have the right stats. Then we're going to do a big game changer on any account. Counterattack champion. Skull Crusher is the most accessible one. I still use him today because of the ally protection. Combine that with another ally protection champion and you've got yourself a really fancy clan boss team. Then we're going to move on to the rares. First one is going to be not 1, not 2, but like 3 Coldhearts, because I love Coldhearts and they're absolutely amazing, and you can definitely build 3 on your account. Enemy max HP skill and a quadruple hit A1. And the final champion is going to be, for me at least, a Renegade. Renegade will speed everything up. Even though she's not even ranked up to level 60, you don't need to. That reduction of the cooldowns is absolutely amazing. With that said, hopefully you guys have learned something.
Hey guys, Flickin' Rusty here.
Hell Hades in the house! No.
You doing?
Cut. Hi guys, Flickin' Rusty here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video.
Dude, that's Hades' intro.
Cut.
Hey guys, Flickin' Rusty here.
Shout out to the Double Eights for having us on. We're just going to go through our top 2 legendaries, epics, and rares. Let's get into it.
My 2 rares are Kale for clearing early content, and I've got Fellhound as my campaign farmer. Who are your rares?
My top rares are Renegade, because I'm unlucky I haven't pulled a Kaimar, and Apothecary for getting me through my first faction war clear ever. What are your epics?
I've got Stag Knight for getting me through all dungeons, and I've got Serris for my arena. What are your epics?
I got Light Sworn because he hits hard and he's got heaps of utility, and Royal Guard for smacking around the spider. What are your Legos?
Yeah, I've got Sato as my nuker in arena, and I also have Bad Alpha everywhere and Clan Boss mainly. Who are your Legos?
Lovely. Mine are Coroner in a stun set because it's just fun and super satisfying to watch him stun everyone, and Dutchie the Duchess for pretty much everything in the game. Massive carry. Awesome. That's
Beautiful.
it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, 80s. Catch up.
Thanks, man.
Hey guys, to quickly go over my favorite legendaries, I have Lysandra and Nethril. I love turn meter manipulations, and those are probably the 2 best in the game. I also, for my epics, I love Tuhawk the Wanderer. stuns, turn meter stealing, and decreased slow as well. Awesome. Fourth and second for epics, I have Stag Knight, AoE, decreased defense, and decreased attack, as well as a slow on his A1, makes him viable in Fire Knight, fighters, and basically any dungeon. Last but not least, for my rares, I have Bellower and I have Coldheart. Bellower for his AoEs, and Coldheart because she's Coldheart and she can hit hard and is 4-hitting A1, which makes her viable, again, almost everywhere.
So you have it, guys. We were kind of spoilt today with so many different opinions and great people in this community. As I said below, I'm going to link everybody's channel below. Come and check them out. Go and subscribe to their channels as well. They put in a ton of effort on a daily basis. And the least you can do is at least go and check out their different channels. Anyway, guys, I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.